Entertainment Pile later on today was American Idol rigged.
Oh, my.
We're going to tell you that controversy.
Yeah.
And we'll go over the rumored list of Celebrity Rehab 3, not the sex addiction one.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew going back to chemical addiction celebrities.
Awesome.
Also, Dawn will tell us about things people her age in their 40s.
I'm 39.
Did in their 20s that they regret today.
Stories of yesteryear.
Have a new survey out. The spelling bee is tonight.
C-R-A-P.
On ESPN today, this morning, they will broadcast the semifinals today. And then tonight on ABC, the final dozen kids will compete. By the way, there's 41 kids in the semifinals. Of those 41, 14 of them, remember we told you yesterday, are of Indian descent from the country of India.
N-E-R-D-S.
Stop it. How many are girls?
I have the whole list later on.
Okay,
Because I'll give you the setup before the Arnie versus Dawn spelling bee quiz.
And I'm going to suck now because Rob's not letting me write it down.
Never have for the spelling bee.
I think I've talked you into it prior years.
Rockalotopus.
Woo, 09.
Is Saturday, August 1st at the Sleep Train Amphitheater. Features 10 bands. Judas Priest, Tesla, Whitesnake, Trap, Power Man 5000, and more. Tickets officially go on sale Saturday at LiveNation.com, but between this morning at 10 a.m. and Friday night at 10 p.m., you can buy them early through our internet pre-sale, including while they last. Save a lot of buck seats.
Wow, God, you already are getting good prices on these tickets.
Now, the Save a Lot of Buck seats are $9.85 for lawn seats.
Oh, my God, still, you're there. It's a party.
And that price includes all fees, including the parking fee that they have to tack on to everything else.
Holy
Details are at RobArnieandDawn.com. That begins this morning at 10, and this morning at 6:20, we will go back to the Rob, Arnie, and Dawn three-way for our latest pair of VIP seats, which cannot be bought by anyone.
No.
You will be at the show with us, the Rob, Arnie, and Dawn show, side stage, backstage, VIP area, private barbecue, private terrace, and meet and greet privileges as well. We're working on the montage of celebrities that are over their hill past their prime, but don't know it yet.
I got the third one.
Your chance to win at 6:20. Yeah, we did unveil it yesterday, and I think between Arnie and Dawn, you got all three, didn't you?
No, I only got the first one because I put you, Rob, as the second one.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Still stings. All right, now, we ended yesterday's show with a brief discussion on California Supreme Court.
Stop it.
Upholding Prop 8. Gay marriage still banned, but then they also said those people that are married can stay married. It makes no sense at all.
I know.
I got just a stupid question for you.
I'm sure that's true.
Why is the Supreme Court not in the state capitol? Aren't most Supreme Courts in the state capitol? But the Supreme Court, it's in San Francisco.
That's odd.
Because in California, the capital city is Sacramento, which sucks. Whereas justices like San Francisco, it's a better city.
Fair enough. Thank you.
They do that all over the some Supreme Court in New York State, of course, the capital is
Albany.
Right, Albany is pronounced.
Yeah.
But
New Yorkers say what I said.
Their Supreme Court though is in New York City.
New York City.
So you idiots. So it's based on I think best city to place the Supreme Court. Now, so they're going to take it back to the ballots and they're going to try to get you to vote on it in California in 2010.
Super.
And a variety of other lawsuits being filed. Now, one of the arguments that has come up with the gay marriage debate over the last many years is slippery slope. We discussed that a couple weeks ago. The bigamy, polygamy, marrying animals, marrying jackhammers, things like that. Here's another slippery slope fallout, and this is where you lose me completely in the gay movement. I have an open mind to all of these things, and I look into them, and then once I look into them, I come to a conclusion. I used the example yesterday of peanut allergies. They're phony, all right? They are phony and or created by our culture. There's no such thing as peanut allergies anywhere else in the world. It's something we've created out of hysteria of withholding peanuts from our kids, and or they are completely treatable. There's no such thing.
Right, and we have to have something. Our kids have to have something. That's a good starter at a cocktail party. Yeah, my son has a peanut allergy. Ridiculous. He can't have peanuts.
I am not open-minded about it now because I've done the research. I've looked into it. I know how phony it is and how treatable it is when it's been created by our culture. Out of the park.
Haven't you said, though, that there is a small percentage that you think really do have it?
No, I covered that. It's treatable. It is completely treatable. All allergies completely treatable. Don't even try to argue with me on it. I'm not open-minded once I look into something and come to a conclusion about the look at me part of our society. Which brings us to this ongoing silliness that I believe the last time we discussed this, Dawn cried over the plight of these people.
Yes.
Now,
you're going to have to be more specific. Dawn cries at the drop of a hat.
This transgender movement in America,
Rob,
is so phony.
No.
And it's all about.
No.
It is all about, look at me.
Damn right.
I'm a drama queen. And what really sickens, look, if you want to be a 25-year-old, all right, and you want to come out and say, well, I'm a man trapped in a woman's body and have surgery, you're a freak. I think you're a freak, and I have every right to call you that and judge you on that. I think you're a weirdo. At least you're an adult, and you're making that decision for yourself only. What makes me sick about this are these parents in America that are continuing to create and allow their children, very young children, to say, Mommy, I'm a girl trapped in a boy's body. I want to wear a dress. And then they let them clop around the house in a dress. They let them wear makeup.
Right.
5, 6, 20, or 10, 12 years old. Of course the kid thinks he's a girl. His parents are there enforcing the idea that he's a girl trapped in a boy's body or vice versa instead of taking him out to play baseball. This is what's sickening to me.
Listen. That I'm not going to take away from you in this sense. Because the shows that I've seen on it and people that are now adults and they're now going through the process, they've done the counseling and they've been okayed and
by the way,
and their whole life.
Let me point out, the entire counseling community is complicit and enabling in this. Of course, psychologists think this is a wonderful idea. They give them all a free pass. That is something that those of you that refuse to honestly look at this and imagine that people are liars and need attention. That's something you do to try to legitimize your cause. Oh, well, a therapist gave them the pass-through. Well, of course they did. Therapists think every type of mental delusion is real and should be validated, and there are times you need to look people in the eye and say, get over yourself.
Maybe some people, but this is where I get upset about this, is that because there's going to be, and in every group we have this, we have people in name your group that want to act out, that want to rise, want to get the attention. So they'll cling on to something that's not really, they're just having a crisis of their own self-esteem and self-worth, and they're not getting attention. Maybe they're not getting it from home. They're not getting the right accolades at school. I get all that. I understand. There are some kids that truly are not this, but this is their way of acting out because there's other troubling things going on in their life. But that does not take away from the legitimacy of people their whole lives that fought this, that fought it, that never brought it up to their parents, never brought it up to anyone. They just always felt they were trapped in a different body. They tried and they struggled. They didn't want to give into it. They didn't want to give themselves that kind of attention because they didn't want that kind of attention. They knew how awful it would be. You see the difference there? The first category, they wanted that attention because they need attention for other reasons. Those that really have this, it is a struggle. This is heart-wrenching for them. They have always felt like a different sex, and they can't they've never felt like themselves. And when they finally have gone and done the sex change,
thank you so much. Yeah, they regret it. They regret it terribly. You know why they don't tell their parents at an early age about this? Is because they're getting the attention that they want at that early age. Right. Once they get to an older age and people realize, wow, this guy's really a loser, and they're not hanging out with their parents, you know, they're on their own. They need some kind of gimmick or shtick to get by. And that's what this is. All they're doing is looking for attention. And by the way, can we stop with the lies about therapists and all these analysts and all this kind of stuff? Do you know why they support these people? Because these people pay their checks. Without these people, they ain't going to get paid. A therapist isn't going to go, no, you don't have any problems. Go away. You could go to the...
Yes, it is.
Rob is the most well-adjusted person we know. I guarantee we could take him to a therapist today, and a doctor would say, oh, he needs help.
Look, the therapy community has its place. They are completely complicit. They are completely in the bag for this transgender movement, not just for the evil financial reasons that Arnie mentioned, but because, as I said earlier, they find a way to legitimize every type of feeling that a person has. That's not the way to cure somebody. Sometimes you need to tell people, you're wrong, you're evil, you're a drama queen, you need to get over life. What you described on is every person all the time throughout their life. I need attention. I need to be loved for who I am. You know who you are? You're a dude because you got the plumbing. And that's what most of us see, and that's why we call them freaks and weirdos. They are.
Weirdos.
They are freaks and weirdos. Now, our phone number, as we process through this, is 888-390-9850. Hello, Dave.
Morning. How you guys
what's
doing?
up, Dave?
Hi, Dave.
Hello. I'd just like to start off that Dawn's whole argument was kind of belittled by the statement, I've seen shows on TV about this. No research, no books, just I've seen shows on TV.
No.
That kind of shot your whole argument off.
Well, I'm sorry that did, but, we get our information from a lot of different sources. You can read something in a paper. You can watch the same thing that's on TV. Or, actually, after I saw this, I felt horrible for these folks. So I went online, and maybe you're not going to like the research I found, because I'm sure there's research to debunk it. But a lot of these, it's like doctors will say, they are born. Some of these kids were born with both plumbing, and the parents had to decide. And sometimes they decided wrongly which gender to choose for their kid.
First of all, that's 0.001% of the time, and that's not what we're talking about. We are not talking about the weird, literal freak of nature experience where a baby is born with both genitalia and parents have to make a decision. We're talking about the drama queens. And on the issue of research, some things you don't need research to look at and go, this is a bridge too far. This is a weird person who is demanding attention.
So rude.
And when it's a child, all it takes is a hug, maybe some tough love, or anything in between.
Go dig a hole.
When your little boy said, Mommy, I want to walk around in a dress, you tell him no. Because that's not what boys do. But that's not what we're doing in this culture.
What if you're wrong?
It's not possible.
You're not wrong, though.
I'm just wondering. Honestly, I think that would be...
God got it wrong,
listen,
right? Mother Nature got it wrong. The stork, whatever you believe in, they got it wrong.
You also
know
that while you have the right plumbing and we're born with that, some of the chromosomes in the child during the gestation period were the opposite of what their genitalia was. This is what the doctors are saying.
I'm eliminating doctors. I don't want to hear about doctors and research because you can look at that, because as you said, I can produce doctors that tell you you're full of crap. So let's eliminate what the doctors that are getting paid to do these surgeries are saying.
They're not, that's evil.
Let's talk about this.
Surgery that didn't need
Let's talk about this from a cultural, societal standpoint. You're actually defending allowing people to become freaks.
Oh, they're not.
They are.
Freaks.
A boy that wears a dress is a freak.
Okay.
He's a nut.
Listen, I'm a little weary on the kid front, okay? I think in general kids want to do all kinds of things and want to be all kinds of things. It's harder for me to defend the kid aspect of it because kids can't quite understand or grasp that. It's something I would watch. It's something I would be like, okay, what am I not giving my child? What have I done that has... If they keep doing that, I would watch it throughout the years. I mean, if we're giving them the love and they're playing the baseball, as you say, but they still turn around at 15 and feel that way their whole life, even though you're giving them all the things that you think you should be giving them to get their mind off of that, then I would sit there and wonder.
You weren't.
Maybe this is what happened.
That's
maybe
why they
their
turned out
brain
that way.
chemicals aren't right.
And it's more the political correct bull crap that you don't want to tell a kid he's a freak because it might hurt his feelings. If my son, God forbid, if my son put on a pair of high heels, I would probably hit him with one of my shoes. I would throw a shoe at him because, you know what? Boys don't wear high heels. And in my house, they definitely don't wear high heels.
You don't clop around the house in your mom's high heels as a boy.
You know little boys try that at least once.
Yeah, and they're told by their fathers that you don't get to do that because you're a boy. That's the whole point. Yes, I understand. See, this is also part of the argument where you talk yourself into a circle and all your freak supporters.
They're not freaks.
All kids do this. All boys try it once. All boys grab mommy's lipstick and put it on.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're stupid little kids.
Darn right.
And they need to be told that they're boys and they don't get to put lipstick on. It's not because they're girls trapped in boys' bodies. That's what they say when you don't correct the behavior. That's when they go to, wow, they let me put the lipstick on. I think I'll try the heels now. Maybe the miniskirt. Maybe I'll shave my legs because that's what I see mommy doing.
Listen. I am not saying I would support that, but I also understand it. I believe it's a real condition. And what torture for those kids.
No, it's not
to
torture.
grow up that way.
Really?
And then they get to 18 years old and they still feel that way. I mean, seriously, you guys, you have to take that into account. Here you are as a dad, and you're not letting him do the lipstick. You're throwing your shoes at him because he put on the heels.
Goddamn
you're
right.
doing everything right. He's all tough. He's a star player. Woo, 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 whatever. Yeah, he's doing big things. He got signed on with college ball. Yeah, he's 100% man. He's had sex with a lot of girls. Yeah, way to go, boy. And then he's 18, and he says, Daddy, I still feel trapped in a girl's body, even though you did all that. Now what are you going to say? Because there are folks out there that this has happened. Their parents tried everything you're mentioning, and then they, later in life, still tried to conform to that because they were made to feel icky and disgusted and horrible for that. And they tried. God bless them.
No, they didn't.
And then they finally became who they were supposed to be.
This is what happens. That doesn't happen. Dawn's scenario never happens.
That's never happened ever.
No.
True.
Yes, this is the scenario that happens. A kid puts on the makeup, and the mom or the aunt walks in and goes, oh, my God, that is so adorable. That is so cute. And what do kids want more than anything? They want the approval of adults. They want their parents' approval. So when their parents go, oh, my gosh, that's so adorable. Oh, this is so great. Guess what? They're going to try to take it up a notch. They're going to put on a dress. They're going to put on shoes. And finally, then they get stuck in a woman's body.
Here's why your example is a fallacy, Dawn. First of all, if the kid ever gets to 18 and says, I still feel like a woman, you say, fine, you're a failure, get out, go be a freak. And understand, son, society will never accept you because we still have some moral judgments. And here's the other thing. Here's your example that was phony.
Jesus God.
Those parents didn't do everything, and you know it. You know that your example has never, ever occurred because
I've heard transgenders say that.
The best parents in the world, look, you've heard me say it. Oh, I had a great child. There's no such thing. The best parents in the world make mistakes. They do things wrong. And that's what happened in your example is they didn't throw the shoe at them when they had the opportunity.
Why is it always they're not hugged?
Hello,
or
Eric.
Shoes thrown?
Because it's
not. Hey, Rob, Arnie, and Dawn.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Hi, E.
It's an A.
What?
Right, A.
It's
awesome.
not an E, it's an A.
Good, you spell your name wrong. Go
Thanks
ahead.
All right. Well, no, I completely agree with Rob and Arnie about the whole, the whole. It starts out as dressing as children, like Arnie was saying, and then I've seen the TV shows like you guys, like the last caller was saying, and the parents approve of it, and all it does is manifest into this disgusting infatuation with a different sex.
Right.
God, you guys.
Exactly. Now.
I'm so sorry if you're out there right now and you're
Hey,
transgender
you're
and you're tortured on the inside.
You're a
and
nut.
They changed the station a long time ago.
Don't you think they feel like a freak?
Shock therapy.
They should.
No,
They
not
are.
shock
They
therapy.
should.
Dawn, they are freaks.
God.
They are abnormal.
No.
Not because they're girls trapped in boys' bodies, but because they have a mental disorder that needs to be somehow gotten out of them. That's where therapy could help them if our therapists weren't complicit in this nation with the idea that they're going to go along with the belief that a girl could be trapped in a boy's body. What they need is some tough love therapy who will tell them to wake up, get over it, whatever it is that caused this stupid problem because they weren't getting attention from the parents at home and then the aunt said they were cute, or because they were molested. You know, a lot of times these transgenders were molested, and you need to work with them on that. The point is you don't allow the behavior, you cure the cause.
Do you know what you sound like right now, Williams? You sound exactly like someone who says that about gay people. That's exactly the same stuff they say about someone who's gay. Every single thing you just said. And how wrong is that? That is completely wrong.
And
but
there we have it. There we have the way that we allow all of this freakish behavior. We point to behavior that has existed on the planet for centuries. There have been homosexuals for centuries. Ancient times, before biblical times, men were having sex with men. In fact, men were having sex with boys. Transgenders? No. Transgenders are a creation of the human psyche as a result of seeing other people get attention for their weird behavior. The comparison between the two, while common, is a complete fallacy and should be insulting to the gays. I understand gay communities stand up and say we're all one.
Yes.
They should be insulted. They should be as insulted as blacks are when gay people try to compare themselves to the civil rights movement. Transgenders did not exist 4 decades ago. We have created this entire culture, and we are continuing to allow. That's like saying, well, and here's what's going to happen. And here's what's already happening. when you allow the transgenders to exist, pretty soon it becomes normal to fall in love with the animals. That's the slippery slope part of this that is occurring when you use that
I'm not sure they didn't exist.
Well, I am. There aren't any.
Okay, no,
they didn't exist.
Well, come on. The way the makeup they would do and the different clothes, some of that stuff looked a little feminine.
Cultural.
But I think there were probably some that were conflicted, but you didn't understand it then.
Yeah, you know
you
why?
didn't know what to do with it then.
And you know what they did then? They told them, snap out of it or we'll put a spear through your head. And guess what they did? They snapped out of it.
Right, or they joined the army.
Jesus, you guys.
Now a West Omaha couple says their 8-year-old son has asked for years. He's 8.
Okay, I know. Mm-hmm. All right, this saddens me.
Has asked for years to wear dresses and change his name. So they're enrolling him in a new school where he can live openly as a girl. The parents say their middle child is transgender.
No, he's not.
And he's asked to be called, oh, wow, a middle child. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it has anything to do with being the kid stuck in the middle.
Well, it is a hard
Yeah. I wonder if it's as simple as being the middle child. And he needed to find ways to get attention. So starting at the age of 4, he said he wanted to be called a girl. At 4.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Now, by the way, people that agree with you, Dawn, that won't give me any credit on the child thing, they say, see, that proves it's real. He knew when he was a 4. No, he didn't. He knew how to manipulate his parents for attention.
Right, because he had an older sibling that got attention and the baby that got attention. He didn't get any attention. And by the way, the parents failed miserably at the age of 4. Because at the age of 4, you look at him and go, you're a boy. Don't ever ask me this again. You can say that to your kids. You can tell them that they can never do something again. No, not nicely.
No, listen, what
you got a boy saying, I'm going to wear dresses. I'm going to look at him and go, you know what? You're a little idiot.
You don't say
you
that.
You little dumbass.
Say whatever he wants.
Look, you are a boy. Boys don't wear dresses.
You can look at him and say nicely, oh, I understand. You see your sister doing that. And yes, aren't those lovely, but that's not what boys wear. And you can always, if you feel like that again, you can always come to me and bring it up. You want to keep that open. You don't want to shut them off completely.
No,
just in case it's a real issue.
It ain't. And by the way, now you're arguing form. Arnie can yell at his kid all he wants. You want to be nice because you believe this has a chance of being real.
Yes, and I don't want to damage him.
And it's that mentality that creates the kid. Imagine a 4-year-old that goes to his parents and says, I want to wear dresses, and they talk nicely to him. That allows the behavior. It's called enabling the behavior.
And by the way, that damages the kid. Me telling the kid no ends the story.
Yeah, they can't do it now. No more doing it. And if I catch you doing it, you're punished, and things that matter are taken away from you. And guess what? It doesn't become a real problem.
You've already told them no. You haven't said for them to never bring it up again. You've said if you feel this way again, come to me.
Yeah.
You enable the behavior.
You've enabled it.
Enabling the behavior is actually getting the dress and putting it on.
Not true. That's not even the definition of enabling. Enabling has a variety of levels that you aren't acknowledging, and you're enabling it when you say, well, I'll keep an open mind about it. You're telling the kid, come to me. Come to me later and try this again, and I'll roll it out when you're 10 because I'm going to give you the attention then.
I want them to be free to be able to discuss whatever.
Right, and when they tell you 10 they want to marry a duck, you'll be free with that. Hello there, Charlie.
Good morning, Rob, Arnie, and I don't know what.
That's you, Dawn.
That'd be you, Dawn. Anyhow, I have a friend, and, I think he's been struggling with being gay his whole life, but he was raised that it was wrong. And, he lives a good life and everything. I don't pee in front of him or anything.
I got it.
The Rob, Arnie and Dawn show has just been censored.
Caller was a little graphic while trying to make a point about a friend who struggled with all of this growing up. He said he was told it was wrong, and lo and behold, after being told he was wrong, he lives a normal, straight life, doesn't struggle with being straight as an adult. Imagine that. Hello there, Megan. Good morning.
Hi. I just wanted to say I agree with Rob and Arnie on this. It's just like any parent who lets their kid eat themselves to 250 pounds when they're 5 years old or 10 years old or steals. If you don't treat that behavior or address that, they're going to keep doing it.
Yes, is that how we're going to handle the kleptomania, Dawn, when the 4-year-old steals from the store? You're going to give him that same nice speech that you gave him about wearing a dress? Well, you shouldn't do that, but I want you to come to me if you feel like stealing again later, or are you going to tell them it's wrong?
Absolutely.
See, that's the difference. We have just defined the difference between stopping a behavior and enabling it with your dopey approach.
Okay, no, it's not dopey, by the way. That is illegal activity. I don't want my kid to turn into a criminal. That is not going to occur.
Stop hiding behind research and laws. We are arguing on the basis of this is illegal activity culturally. Yes. The culture doesn't accept it. I don't care about legalities. You and your approach of, it's fine, I don't want you to do it, but come to me later. Imagine using that approach if he stole.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you use that approach if he stole?
No, I would not if he stole.
Because it's wrong?
Yes.
And you can stop the behavior.
Absolutely.
So stop him from wearing a dress.
I don't feel if he really is transgender that it's wrong.
Yeah. Because
that is why I'm going to keep it open. At 5, it's wrong. At 5, I don't want him going through that because I don't believe he can understand it at 5. But that door, I'm not going to shut because I want him to be able to be open to me when he's 19 and he still was struggling.
And he won't be struggling if you close that door at the age of 5.
Not
Do you know what this
true.
is? This is, and Dawn, you're going to be a perfect example of this someday if you ever become a parent.
God forbid.
Yeah. It's all these people who don't want to tell their kids no. It's everybody who wants to be, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, everybody that wants to be friends with their kids. That lady brings up a great example about the fat bastard kid you see on Maury. The kid walks out, he's 3 years old, and he weighs 200 pounds. And they ask the mother, why did you do that? Well, if I didn't give him a Snickers bar, he'd cry. So if my son doesn't wear a dress, he'll cry. So I put the dress on him. So I'm going to go ahead and confuse my child at an early age because I really don't care about their feelings. I just want them to like me. You know what? I want my kids to despise me growing up. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make them not like me. I don't want them to like me, but they will respect me.
Okay, in this story right here that Rob read, maybe so. But I am not looking to be my kid's friend. I am looking to be able to guide them, but also be a safe place for them. And you can say no in all kinds of other areas, but in something as serious as this, while I may not let him at 5 wear the dress or heels, I'm going to watch it, I'm going to monitor it, and I'm going to make my home a safe place to where if my kid is transgendered or gay, he can come to me and not feel creepy about it.
Hello, Eddie.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys how you felt about the schools letting this go on. My daughter's a freshman in high school, and she comes home and tells me that there's some boys in her school, or a boy at least, that wears a dress to school and presents himself as a girl, and that at least half the boys, if they're not gay, are bisexual in our school.
This is the point of these conversations, Eddie, is that the mentality that Dawn is espousing here has led to the schools allowing high school age boys to wear dresses and skirts and makeup and act like they are girls, because 20 years ago they would never have tolerated that.
God, no.
It's a distraction. It disrupts the learning process. But now, because the vocal minority, people like Dawn and the people that want to be nice instead of honest and refuse to point at somebody and go, okay, look, this is too much. You're behaving like a nut. We now have to allow this. We have to accept this behavior. Never mind, by the way, the damage we're doing to all of the 99% of the children, Eddie, your daughter, and all of the other kids at that school who have to see it. These are important years in high school.
They are.
They have to see this freak job walking around in a dress.
I'm not.
Ridiculous.
Of course, these are important years, but this is life. They're not just going to only see it at school. They're going to be surrounded by it in life, period.
Surrounded by it.
Go to any city. You can be able to point out someone who is going through a sex change. It's easy to do because you guys call them freaks yourself. And you sit there and you have that conversation with your kid. What is wrong if a boy is a little feminine? I want to know, why is it that every boy has to be tough? I understand that there are some, absolutely. Men have a toughness about them, and that's great, but there are some boys that don't. They're a little more on the feminine side, and that's where they feel comfortable. And who is anyone to say that that's wrong?
Well, nature.
Oh,
nature is to say.
That's
not because
right.
look, I'm sorry to go back to caveman days, but men are hunters and women are gatherers.
We've progressed.
No, we haven't. Nature hasn't progressed.
I swear.
Nature hasn't. Look, men go out and do these things. You know, my favorite part about hearing these stories about the kids in high school who the entire high school caters around, lets the boy wear the dress. I look forward to when they go out into society and society beats them down and they end up in therapy therapy because they're being taught at this age right now, and they were taught by their parents that the world revolves around them. Everything must go through them. Every rule is theirs to have, and once they get into society, it's not.
But aren't you concerned that that's not what we're headed towards in 2 decades? That might be the society you live in today, Arnie.
Yeah.
But isn't this
right.
the process? Is that the Dawn argument, whether this is what she wants to happen or not, the Dawn argument and the vocal minority will lead to full acceptance. And what goes on in these high schools, see, because they hide behind tolerance. And what goes on in this high school will go on in the real world. It will be a hate crime. To point to that jerk in your workplace and tell him he's a nut job.
And you say in 20 years, and in 20 years, we'll be in Thunderdome. That's where we're going to be. You know what? Because nobody will be able to say anything bad about anybody. Nobody can have an opinion that differs from anybody who's different.
Actually, you can. You guys want to make everyone look the same. Why? Well, I don't understand. If someone wants to be trans, and if somebody if somebody is transgender, or a man is a little more feminine, and as long as he's doing his job, and he's a law-abiding citizen, and he's providing, and he's not affecting your life whatsoever, what the hell do you care if it's the dome?
Hello, John.
Thunderdome. John, you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Dawn, I've got a doctorate in psychology. Let me first point out you're an idiot. Secondly,
that's his psychological opinion. What else?
Yeah, what else?
Secondly, transgenderism is almost always a type of corruption of the mind. Basically just trying to get attention. Rob and Arnie have it right. This idea we have to be nice to kids at all times, or they're going to cry their little eyes out. It's ridiculous, and we're making little cowards. Kids don't have to be masculine, but they don't need to dress up like girls either.
Yeah, there's a big difference between Adam Lambert, who's not masculine, and these freaks.
They're not freaks.
Let me wrap up this story and tell you the rest of this from Omaha. The parents say their middle child is transgender, and he has asked to be called a girl since 4. They now refer to him as a she.
Okay, so there they go.
The mother says, and by the way, they won't identify the family for his protection. The mother says in the story, quote, one night she said, every night when I go, talking about her son.
I know. This I'm not okay with.
Every night when I go to bed, I pray my inside will match my outside. But it never happens, end quote. Now, that's tragic. I will agree. That's sad and tragic.
I swear to God, that wants to make me
cry. Take the boy then.
God.
All right, if you can't do it as an adult, if you can't throw your shoe at him or tell him no, that's when you take him to therapy.
Yeah,
and you find a therapist. You find a therapist who won't enable the behavior. You interview therapists. I mean, this is your kid, for God's sake.
Yeah, no,
this goes back to the Mike Tyson discussion yesterday. How you don't protect your child, I don't get it. You go to a therapist and you say, do you believe in transgenderism? Yes? Okay, you're out. And you do that. You interview them over and over until you get one that says, no, like the caller who claims to have a psychological degree. We don't know when our callers are telling the truth or not. Let's pretend he's real. That's the psychologist I'm taking my 4-year-old to, who says I pray for the inside to match my outside.
No, honestly, that would definitely be a trigger. This story right here specifically saddens me. I have never once said you give in to them as kids because I don't believe they quite know yet. That, honestly, I'm very saddened by that family because he's going to be even more confused. And it's easy for kids to get information on this, by the way, at school or anywhere else. So I would also question.
Because they're manipulating.
Well, no, I would also question where he might be hearing this or reading about it, and then he just relays it to his parents. Why are you being smug like that?
Yeah,
I swear to God.
Because you're a moron.
No, I am not.
We just had a professional say you are.
Look, I can't wait, Rob. Hopefully it'll be next week that you get a story from someplace else over a flyover state that some kid who's a middle child is now a cougar. And that's what he wants to do. He goes to school as a cougar.
Walks around all four?
Yeah, he walks around all 4. He sleeps in the tree at night, and he attacks the family dog on a daily basis. You know what? Guess what? You're going to have to put up with the goddamn behavior.
Arnie makes a good point. This isn't San Francisco or New York or Miami. This is Omaha, Nebraska. This is the middle of the nation where this is being allowed to happen. The 8-year-old, again, who's not identified, told the reporter, it's like you're trapped somewhere and you can't get out, end quote. He's been allowed to dress as a girl at home since the age of 4, but has had to dress and act as a boy in public, but the family says that will soon change.
Oh, yeah, they have to give in to it.
The child recently completed 2nd grade at a local Catholic school. His parents agreed to allow him to enter 3rd grade as a girl, but the Reverend and the Chancellor won't allow it. Imagine that. Man. So the child will now be enrolled in public school as a girl.
He's going to get beat up.
He says, and I quote, he says, and he's so excited, he, whatever, it says, quote, now I can wear nail polish, Get rid of all my boy clothes and not worry about that name. He's changing his name to a girl name. He also is looking forward to growing a ponytail and getting his ears pierced.
And you know what? This is what sucks. Back when I was in public school, they could say no. They could say no. He's got to come to school as a boy. Yeah. Because, as Rob stated earlier, it's a distraction to the learning process, and we don't have freaks here.
They're not a freak.
We will post the story for you at RobArnieandDawn.com. It is time to begin the Rock-A-Lotta-Puss three-way. We have a pair of VIP tickets for you to join us Saturday, August 1st. At the Sleep Train Amphitheater. Remember, tickets go on sale this Saturday, though we do have a pre-sale opportunity beginning this morning at 10 a.m., and you can even save a lot of bucks, $9.85 a ticket for lawn seats. Details are at RobArnieandDawn.com. Judas Priest, Whitesnake, Tesla, Trap, Powerman 5000, 10 bands on hand at the Sleep Train Amphitheater. You cannot buy the VIP seats we have. You'll spend the day with us, 2 seats, VIP seats, parking, private VIP terrace, bar access, barbecue access, and meet and greet privileges with the band. Our phone number is 888-390-9850. We are currently working on the Rob, Arnie, and Dawn three-way montage of famous people who don't realize they are past their prime.
Cut 1.
Follow this show, you bitches.
Cut 2.
What's your fitness secret?
Cut 3.
Vegas is awesome. I love it here.
Caller 18 will play the montage for you again. Identify all 3 famous people who don't realize they are past their prime, and you will win your VIP Rock-A-Lotta-Puss tickets at 888-390-9850.
Rob, Arnie, and Dawn.